myself, who
Yeah,
I
I'm gonna
wanted to
record.
be, who I wanted to be, and what I wanted to do, and the person that I had to become in order to impact others and actually lead people in the way that we should be led into love and discipline, acceptance of ourselves. And it was a journey for me to have to accept myself for who I am and be okay with that. Be okay with you know that I have flaws and that's okay, and I'm not perfect like everyone else, but to actually express myself and love with my whole heart, it took a lot for me because I came from a background of toughness. It wasn't, uh, it wasn't in our nature to express ourselves in a vulnerable way, and being able to do that, it still makes me uncomfortable. I think it always will in a way, but it's easier now, and it's easier because I allow myself to feel the way that I do about myself, and I love who I am. I really do. I feel like I'm the most happy I've been in a long time, and even though today's like a blah day, still I feel like I'm making a difference in people's lives, and I'm needed, and that to me
That's
is,
important.
yeah,
That
exactly.
really is for all of us. I think that's one of the major things that we all have is a sense of desire to make sure that we're helping others. And I think that's one of our all of our major.
It can get to be a bit much though, because I've I've learned that my energy, of course, it affects everyone else, but everyone else's energy has gotten to where it's strong, and it really does affect me. And if I'm not around positive people, and I'm around someone that is, going through a tough time, it's hard for me to maintain my own level of energy to where I can, bring them up. And it does take a lot out of me. And I've noticed lately that I guess I'm having more difficulties with trying to actually let it flow through me and not to me, because it flows to me a lot, and I think that's why I've always had the anger issues and things that I've had. And recently I've gotten through that. Like I'm not angry anymore now. I just get so drained at the end of the week. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm tired. So yeah,
Okay.
that's what I'm experiencing.
Well, I'm definitely going to, I have a couple different things I want to address with yours because I think I have a lot of information that's going to help you on that. That is such a how to regroup or how to recoup our own energy when we're in the middle that I can actually help with because I that was something being empathic, always feeling all the feelings of everyone around me, always knowing that everything I'm feeling isn't always mine. Like I can really like I can walk in a room and feel that energy climb on me and or like I walk in a room and somebody will turn and be like, wow, what did you do, bring the sunshine in, just because I lit up the room when I walked in and it was already doom and gloom when I walked in, and I walked in smiles and waving and everybody's like, hey, oh my gosh. So I my smile, people will tell me those things light up the room. Go, well, what they're seeing is as I'm walking in, they're seeing the change of the energy as my energy is entering the room. So that's something we all have, that energy field. So in yours, what I wanted to cover, Nikki, is that taking moments after you're working with a client. I know that, we always are pressed for our time and we're always jumping around and doing all the stuff that we're doing. Hey, Kathy, glad you're here. But Nikki, what I was going to say is when you get done with a call, it is worth the time for you to get up, go to another space, wash your hands, take a drink of water, because you are not actually neutralizing now your time in your body with that water. You can use that water to neutralize all those energies that were transferred during that call. You go wash your hands, you take a drink of water, and that rinses that through in that moment for you.
That's
And
awesome.
just
I love that.
And it's just literally, water is a natural conduit to help heal and cleanse. It just automatically does it. So, I mean, when you go in there, you're literally just taking an extra minute or two, acknowledging all that went on in that class, how it really pulled your energy down, and how you want to reset your personal energy. So you make an intention, and then you go and you wash your hands, and then go get a drink of water.
Awesome. I'll try that.
And it will truly, like, it's going to shift you so much. You're going to be like, really, just drinking water fix that? Really, it was that easy? But it's the fact that we don't know. That's all it is we just don't know, until we know. And when we know, it's like, oh, well, I wish I would have known that a long time ago. It would have made life a lot easier, but that's what I do. Is I do a few minutes every time after anything that I do. Is I immediately get up, I go wash my hands, and I get a drink of water, and I just allow it with the intention to just reboot me and
Awesome.
my energy, and remove the energies that are not mine, that I don't have to carry, because the water will move it.
Thank you for sharing.
Dr. Kim, I know that you're short on time, and I want to make sure you get a chance to talk too. So the question was, during this week, where have you come up and run into some tough situations, hard times, or things that have made you run up against something that you may need some assistance navigating?
Thank you so. So I had to okay, and I chose to have the, which turned out to be it was awful.
Ooh, we're choppy, Kim. Hey, Kim, you mind trying to shut off the screen and see whether or not
Hello?
let's see if you cut your visual, like your video. Let's see if that'll help.
Is that better? Could you hear anything I said?
I didn't get anything you were saying. That's why I was asking you to shut off the
Oh,
video. I can hear you now,
okay.
though.
So I had to have my 16-year-old cat put to sleep yesterday. We both fought a very hard battle, and it was traumatic. It was traumatic. I had it done in my home, and I wish looking back, I hadn't made that choice. Had lots of flashbacks today of the procedure and that, and I'm just delighted she's not suffering, and our energies are now merged, and my heart is really sad, really sad. So I'm just giving this time today to grieve and to be present, because this is part of what the human journey is, to be present to loss. So thanks.
You're welcome, Kim. In that, I want you to take and just give me 3 really precious, wonderful moments that you had with this cat. 3, just amazing moments that your heart can hold on to and remember, and bring her back to life in your mind and in your heart, because she'll forever live with you.
Thank you, Darla. Thank you so much.
I knew she was telling me that she was going to have to leave early, so I don't know how long she had. I am going to check on her real quick, just because we were in the middle of talking about something pretty heavy for her. But there we go. I'm just letting her know we can chat anytime that she needs. Eric, how about for you? How has your week been? And While you're getting ready to do that, let me let Kathy know. Kathy, what we're doing is we're looking over the last week. And what we're doing is looking over any points in our last week where we felt we've gotten stuck. Like there's a fork in the road, we don't know what choices to make, what's going on. So why don't you think about one this week that you want to talk about, and I'll see if I can help you resolve that in class today. That's what we're doing. Eric, go ahead. I noticed that you changed your Facebook. That might have some stuff going on. You got a lot of things going on, don't you, Eric?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Uh,
Well, come on, speak, geek.
yeah, well, it's a little bit hectic for the moment, chaos. So I sold the house here. It's already 6 months ago. Well, last year, October. So you would think, okay, you know, a couple of months and it's done, but it's still not done. But yesterday I got news, so I will go sign the papers next month. So that would be like 8 months or almost 7 months before the deal is done. So yeah, it was time, because not knowing, you know, when you have to move out, where you're gonna go, it's not easy. So yeah, and I'm separating from my wife.
How many
my-
years?
Well, next year it would be 20 years. Yeah.
That is definitely navigating some hard waters right now, Eric.
Yeah, but I knew that was coming anyway, so I know that already for years. But well, you try to hang on, but if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, you know. I want to move on. I want to do other things. I have other interests, and so same like you did, you know. At one point, you just have to cut loose and say,
Oh
I
yeah,
gotta.
you were in that call, weren't you, when I was talking about having to let go of things in my life that I'd been taking charge and control of and doing for so long because I didn't know how to not do it. And I had to learn how to separate myself and realize sometimes other people's journeys are their responsibility, regardless of whether or not they're equipped, they have to learn their lessons. That was really a hard space to be in. I mean, when I had to let go of family and friends and things that I thought were supposed to be in my life, and they didn't need to be there because they were toxic for me. And that was really, really tough. I mean, because I had only known so much toxicity for a long time that I didn't even realize the amount that was still in my life, because for me it was comfortable, it was peaceful. Though I was doing all of that stuff, it was normal. It was like, oh, that's nothing. Everybody does. No, not everybody does that. You don't have to do that. And it's not okay that people would take my goodness and use it for their advantage. I had a good heart and I saw a need, and I would feel a need because of my heart and my genuine characteristics and nature. And people would use that to theirs, you know, for their gain, and literally leave me lost and left without, because it benefited them, you know. And I had to come to realize that, yeah, not everybody's your friend. You know, no matter how much you want them to be your friend, no matter how much of a heart you are and you truly are the friend, not everybody else is. And even your own family can break that and those that you have loved for a long time can break that trust. And it can be short times, it's a very uncomfortable place. So I definitely hear you and I feel you, Eric, after 20 years. That is definitely, some serious investment. That was investment. There was a lot of time, a lot of years, a lot of love, a lot of energy that you've invested. So no matter, it's not really a loss, it's a gain. You gain the wisdom, you gain the knowledge, you gain the self-confidence and the security to be who you are truly meant to become. So never look at it as a loss, look at it as a gain. You gain the knowledge and the wisdom to make different decisions in your life. And love those gains as much as they hurt.
Wow.
Love those gains, because those gains are the ones that are going to help navigate us into the places we need to go and allow us the wisdom and the strength to do the things that we need to do. People don't realize how much work goes underneath the surface that is unseen in the life that we live. When we happen to be the coaches and the mentors for others, what ends up happening is we do a lot of underground work to keep everything together. So every day we are truly working on ourselves to keep that together so that we can be that encouragement to others. So people don't realize that we get up at early times in the morning, we're already in doing our own teachings, our own techniques, and doing all the stuff for ourselves to make sure that we're maintained in control and in control of ourselves, because control is really just an optical illusion. The only place we have control over is ourselves. So as long as we're maintaining and controlling ourselves, everything else will come together. And that just sounds so backwards because everybody's been trained to look outside of themselves. Look outside of ourselves for the love, look outside of ourselves for our needs, look outside of ourselves for everything. When if we all pull within and begin to actually navigate from our own navigation system, from our own intuition, from a spirit that dwells within us, if we start living from that space, it's not what everybody else is doing. So that makes us out of the norm. It makes us different. So then it's a lot of questions because we're doing things that others wouldn't generally do. So it makes us feel awkward. It makes us feel uncomfortable. But in all actuality, it allows us to actually come into a place where we can feel solid and secure, and gives us the wisdom to assist others. So I want to honor each one of you guys today because I know how hard your journeys have been. And I want you to know that I honor that. And I think that it's respectable, and having to uproot yourself after so many years and relocating. I can tell you with moving recently, the entire world that you know will shift. And I'm going to give the heads up because I thought, wow, oh, I'm good. I can just make this decision. Well, I'll tell you, that decision was really hard. It wasn't hard for me to make because I wanted it so bad. But after and bringing myself back in, I didn't have any of the network that I had prior that I had built. I had built an entire system. I had friends that I could call on if I needed assistance with a project. I had people I could call on if they knew of others who were in need of things. I had set up a referral system where people would refer me clients and refer me people where I was at. I mean, I had people that were recurring customers that would come to me and be like, oh my gosh, well, this spring I need this in the yard. That spring, this winter I need that in the yard because I did lawn art and stuff. So I mean, I did different parts of things. So I had all of these different networks that were bringing in and feeding my financial space. It was feeding my emotional space. It was the network and the system of all of those who, if I needed an ear to lean on, I mean, I still have those, but they're really far away. I can't just gather up and go to the local, diner and have lunch or dinner with my girlfriends or just my friends and be like, hey, let's all talk about what we're doing. The actual personal masterminds that I wasn't realizing what I was doing, that's what I was doing, is collectively gathering with other people and discussing all of our projects and helping each other grow them. I didn't know I was masterminding at the time, but that's what I've been doing for years. So I completely upset that kettle. I turned that thing on its side and moved on to go to different things and relocate it. And then I sat down in it and went, have you, that's it. That's all I got. It was a person that I chose to share my life with. So everything afterwards, when it was all said and done, I was like, oh, what did I do? What did I do? And it wasn't a bad thing. It was just, as you realize, I went to go do certain things and I couldn't do them because I'm not in the same community and I don't know anybody. I can't just go to the store and run into everybody that I knew, and where everybody was like, Darla, what's going on in your life? What are you doing? Because I lived in a small community. Everybody had known and watched me grow from one thing to the next. I had no idea how important it was for me to hear from different people each day when I went out the store. Darla, I haven't seen you in a while. What's been going on? To be known by your name, for them to know what you've done, and to actually want to know how you are and what's going on with you is really important. And I didn't realize how much I was thriving in my life because of those moments. Because when those things were gone, I got lost for a minute. And I stumbled through a little bit. And then I had episodes where it took me back to behaving certain ways that I shouldn't behave, because it took me back to that fight or flight mode. And I was like, whoa, what am I doing? I'm resetting myself, not destroying myself. What am I doing here? So I had to realize and take and put into effect all the different things that I do with other people. I had to pull it into my own life and realize that what I'm doing is I had to sit down and set myself up for success here. What do I want to do? How did I do it before? I went back to notes that I wrote about it. And I was like, oh, well, I started off with networking with people, 5 people a day. Doesn't matter where they're at within 3-foot rule. I'm going to meet people. I'm going to talk. I'm going to find that groove again. I'm going to reconnect myself to the community and the events and the people and what's going on in my community, and how can I be of a service to my community so that people can see that I'm also a giver and that I care and that I want to be a part of, so that I can get invited out to other things and different things and just begin laying out the foundation again. So no matter where you're at, take and make note to yourself what steps you've taken to get where you are. So whenever you are in a place where your whole world is set upside down, you can actually go back and navigate yourself right back through it. So you don't become broken from it. You just reset and start again. And that's the part that's really great. It's like when you're looking at a child wobbling across the floor, trying to take the first steps their first time. Do we go, you fell down, don't do it again? No, we go, oh, you fell down, let's try again. Yay, you can do this. We encourage it. So when we have life hiccups and moments where we think we just fell down, it's okay. Celebrate the fact that you fell. You acknowledged it. You know where you're at. And you know that you can just get back up. That is the beautiful part about our life, is we realize that yesterday is gone. We cannot bring it back. We cannot change it. Today is the only moment we have, so we have to live in the now, but we can sure dream up an amazing future. because our imagination is where we create it all. So if we can do that, and if we can pull ourselves from when we go back and pull ourselves back to the here and the now, if we stop and we ask ourselves right this very minute, and I want all three of you to do that right now, ask yourself this very minute, how am I? And honestly answer it. Nikki, how are you right now?
I'm freaking tired.
Eric?
I'm tired too, but I'm looking forward to where I want to go. Yeah, I'm counting down, until next month, because that's what's keeping me here. That, this thing with the house is settled, and that I can give my wife her part, my sons their part, and take my share and start with my new life. That's, I already decided 6 months ago what I wanted to do, but it's
It's a
taking
process.
so long, and I'm really I'm tired. It's time that it's over, that it's done. And finally, now I have a date. I know something. But
That's gonna
before
help
it
a
was,
lot.
guessing, when. Now I know something, at least. So, yeah. So the end of the tunnel is in my view,
It's
in
like
my
when
sight.
my business coach that I hired a couple weeks ago, and he told me the same thing. He said, "You just got to make a decision. Once you make a decision, it doesn't matter what it is. Once you make that decision, you'll be set."
Yep, that is the key. That is a true key to this success in it, is making the decision.
So I made the decision, but I can't go now. I mean, I have to settle this
You're
first.
in a process. So how about this process right here? You know that the outcome you can celebrate.
Yeah.
So that's what you hold on to right now.
Yeah.
When you're in those daunting moments that are dragging you down and making you feel less than who you truly are, instead of entertaining those, go back and sit in the celebration of what's to come. Remember your why. You're looking for your life. You're about to embark on the greatest adventure of you, and you're worth it. So every time you get in those lows, and this is daunting and this is tiring and I can't take it anymore, remember your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? Because your why's got to be greater and propel you to a space where you would do it no matter whether or not you're getting paid for it or not, and that you want it more than you can want the next breath that you're going to take. And when you get there, no matter how much it takes, no matter how long it is, it'll be worth every moment when you get to that moment of celebration. So hold on to your celebration, Eric, because it's coming and it's going to be okay. So every daunting moment, just go, worth my celebration, worth my celebration. I'm worth it. And Nikki,
Yeah.
I want you for a moment just to take in, and I want you to do this real quick, just so I can help you shift, because you're like, I'm so tired.
Yeah, I am.
Like, I'm just disconnected. I literally want you to just pull your body up, bring your shoulders out, head up. I want you to take in a deep breath. Hold it and let it out slowly from your mouth. Bring it back in through your mouth and out through your nose. I want you to literally just bring your arms out to the sides of you. Completely just stretch them straight out. And then up. and then bring them back down.
Oh, oh,
Taking another deep breath. I got this. I got this.
so tired of shit.
It's like,
I think I just need some sleep. Thank you, though.
Kathy, in your week, what is the one thing that you want to talk about today that you know that has brought you to a stumbling space? I don't know which fork to take. I don't know where I'm at. I've come to the end of the road and I want to rejuvenate myself and be able to keep going.
It's gonna make me cry. I guess
Mhm.
like I had to think about it. I'm always like it's just like what you're just talking about, like making a decision and then it ends up, it needs to be this like every waking moment thing or you know what I mean? Like I just I don't know, like I feel like I have a hard time like believing in myself, you know? And I don't know why because it's not like I just don't know what I'm like waiting for, like what's holding me back, or why I'm hesitating. And so I guess just the feeling of it is like, driving me crazy.
It's the expectation.
Thank you, Nikki.
I don't know, like I don't know. I guess that's just where I always feel stuck, And it's not like I always feel like the people closest to me like don't believe in me. And it's almost like I need that or want that, you know, from them. Like I need that encouragement. And then I'm like, but you don't, and I know that, like you don't. So then I'm just like, what am I hesitating for? Like what am I waiting on? And I don't know if I'm just like, scared because I'm a brand new mom or if it's just the craziness in the world. Like I don't know.
It sounds like you haven't found your purpose yet. Like you don't have a reason for you. Not necessarily your family or, people around you, but for you. Why do you do what you do? Why do you love doing what you do? I feel like that's important for people to have. I mean, even if it's just making bracelets for the homeless or just something simple. I mean, but it has to be something that you're passionate about and that you actually want to do and that brings you that joy to where it makes you want to get up out of bed in the mornings. And that's not necessarily your kids because I have a baby girl and I thought maybe when I had a kid that it would be different for me and I would find that purpose, but that wasn't it. It was really helping people and giving back and changing the environment, not really the environment, but changing the environment that you're in, like in your head. For me, that was a big thing. It was hard for me to do that, but once I found my purpose, which was real recently, actually, it just everything else aligned and it just everything happened and now it's like I don't question things. It's not a fear or an unknown thing that I'm scared of because I just know that things are going to be okay. And I think when you have that purpose and you know that, then that's when everything actually does align. And I think for me, that was helping others and changing the future. Like the future generation is important, and I think giving them the tools they need going forward to communicate better with people and to be empathetic and understand others intellectually is important for them. And it's not really about making a better world for them, it's about giving them the tools to help them make their own better world for themselves. And yeah, that's my why, and that's I think once you have that, it'll all come into place.
That's exactly. That's a great why, Nikki, because you're finding yourself in that space of where you are the assistance, you are the service to others. You've found that you can begin building each other up, and in that, that is became your fuel and your passion. I think that that's beautiful. And thank you, Nikki, for jumping in right there, because Kathy does need to hear lots of different perspectives right now so that she can start navigating herself. Kathy, you are a beautiful soul, and I know that you're fully awake, and that can cause some serious implications in the way that you process each day, because you can see all of the discord in the world and how it's not lined up with the truth, and that how all of those things cause those separations and broken spaces. And that when you have such a heart like yours that wants to just show the whole world how to love themselves, each other, and everything around you, that's one of the reasons I think you and I navigated and connected our path, because we both have that heart for the world around us. And it comes from that space of where we didn't have, and now we're giving it to ourselves. So to give it to another, just it fuels us and gives us that power,
Right.
just to keep going. So don't grow weary in doing good for yourself. You're in your process.
More like, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think it's just like maybe I'm in an acceptance phase. Like I know what my purpose is, but I'm like, like, and maybe it's just that's part of like accepting, like, yes, this is what you're here to do, and you're gonna have to do it. I don't know, I just
Sometimes it is that responsibility that gets us. That's why a lot of things are wrong in the world, because people don't want to take responsibility. They don't want to be the decision maker. They don't want to, have that on their shoulders. So maybe that is the phase that you're in. I never really thought about that, but I don't guess I've made it to that phase either. So
We're all there, we're all in our process. That's the point of when I say it, the process. I like to say that word a lot because I had to learn to fall in love with my process. We're always in an ever-changing process. When we get into the realm of personal growth and development never ends. We're always ever changing. We're always ever developing. It's always something new. It's always the change. We embrace change like there's no tomorrow. We love change because it makes us grow. It helps us to explore new opportunities. It shows us the new things because we're visionaries. We can see those hopes. And we can see that drive within us, where others don't always see that. And we're those people that are that navigation spotlight on the situation. Let me go ahead and be that light post here along that path to help another. In that's where we all are at. We're all like, oh, I got it. So let me shine the light on it for someone else. And that's where we come to find our process. That's where we come to find our why, is in that place where we finally just jumped in and went, oh yeah, that's what I needed the most. And that's what we generally find ourselves giving back to the world. What we needed most is what we give back, because we know how desperate we were for it. And when we came into it, how important it was for us, that it literally drives us to want to go give it to the rest of the world.
Yeah. Sometimes I think too, like I feel like I'm waiting for some kind of green light go, like some sign from the universe. But I also feel like everything's coming into place, and I'm just always wanting to be 10 more steps ahead than I am, and like you said, it's just relaxing into that flow of it and stop worrying and stop, all that stuff. And I wanted to say, like, to Eric real quick, I really felt your story. And I just wanted to give you another encouraging, thought too, that every time something is falling apart in your life, you always have to remember that that is God leading you to something greater. Take the lesson from the love lost. And think of it this way: how do you know true love, true, authentic, genuine love, until you've experienced its opposite? How can you appreciate that? How can you pull that in and really know it until you've experienced the opposite of that? So all of this, take the love that you had in that situation and just grow from that love. Take the good from it and and apply that into your next, because I think the fact that you had so much emotion and pain, and I felt that. And I'm like, man, good things are coming for you. Somebody you're matched. The heart that's meant to love yours is going to make its way to you. And you're going to have a beautiful life. Just know that. Just know that and believe in that.
Thank you, Patty. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So when we're thinking about each one of our stories here, mine being the fact that I've recently moved up here and I felt some of my stuff was just like not functional anymore. It wasn't flowing anymore. It was just because I relocated and I don't have the same resources. I can go build those resources. And I had to step back and figure out what I did before so that I could do that. So for myself, in my story, it's literally just re-navigating myself out into my community and in my area so that I can still do the same things that I was doing there, but now from a new space. So now I'm just expanding. So my territory has expanded and I didn't know how to navigate expansion. And that's a pretty amazing place to be in when you can actually be the person to share with others that my territory expanded. Because I still have all of those same resources back in Buffalo, down in Texas, and all the Texas area surrounding that I can still make a phone call. You get a good game show. It says, do you want to call a friend? Do you want to phone your partner? Do you want to, do a 50-50? What do you want? Here's your choices. Now I have choices. That's an amazing place to be in. But I didn't recognize that until after I landed and settled in. It took me a little bit because I felt lost at first. And it took me a little bit, it took me a few months to get myself regrounded and go, oh, because when you uproot, I pulled back all of my energy, brought it all back to myself and relocated, and then had to go, oh, well, I don't have no energy here. There's nothing for me to connect to. I got a house, I got a partner, I've got, his kids, now I've got the community, now I've got a job, now I have people I'm speaking to, but I had to go and fight all those things and take the steps. I had to make a decision that I could sit here and feel sorry for myself, or I could stand up and go redirect myself and put my time and my efforts to good use.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's always good to not be the victim, not play the victim in your own life. That's something that I did for a very, very long time, and
We all have.
I refuse to do it anymore. And yeah, it's about making that decision to not do that. And yeah, are you on Clubhouse, Darla? Am I
What is
on
that?
Clubhouse? I knew you were gonna say, what is that? Clubhouse is amazing. I have to send you a link.
Okay. Perfect. So, Kathy, I want to spotlight on one area for you in what you said. You talked about the decisions, and it needs to be either this or that. And what waking, through your waking moments, you've got constant decision making, and it's hard for you to navigate that. But one of the things you said that you're having a hard time is belief in yourself. I want you to stop and implore this thought for a moment. You have successfully 100% navigated every single day of your life to this very moment, to where you are. Successfully 100% made it to right here, right now. You're 100% here. You still have all your fingers and toes, right? We have all of who we are. And a lot of learning experiences along the way. So if one thing you can do for yourself, Kathy, is believe that you, each day that you wake up and take that breath of that conscious breath of life, I want you to stop and go, I made it this far. What does today bring? What amazing things will today bring? And start shifting yourself to the amazing things that it brings. Because when we stop and we focus on the positive instead of the negative, more positive can come. More good will be drawn onto us. We magnetize the emotion and the feeling that we're already in. So if I may wake up in the morning and I don't feel good, I can lay there and not feel good and tell myself, oh, I don't feel good, and get up and not feel good all day long. Or I can go, ooh, what is that? Why do I feel that? What's going on with me? What do I need to deal with? Because anything that we're feeling in our body, it comes from an emotional state. So when we realize that, how do we shift it? We acknowledge it. I'm going to acknowledge that I'm not feeling good. My stomach feels queasy. Ooh, why? Oh, well, subconsciously, I was thinking about the fact I have a job interview today. So yeah, I made my stomach queasy. So I was nervous. My nerves were acting up. So what do I got to do then is acknowledge, oh, well, it's okay to be nervous. You're going to meet new people. It's okay. Once I told myself it's okay, then my mind and my body cooperated and I could breathe out that sickening feeling and then breathe in the life that I really have of knowing that I am true and confident within myself and I can go and meet these people and deliver who I truly am and not have to worry about it. But I have to gather that in my mind first so that I can live it here before I go live it there. The purpose of bringing our heart and our head together so that we can constantly manifest the life that we want to live. We have to bring the consciousness of both our heart and our head to one.
Yeah. And I
And
think
then
that's
that's
where I'm
where our real,
like, it's like you said, it's like these two are just coming together. And I know, like, I'm always impatient with myself and I'm harder on myself than I should be. Cause I mean, I want everything instantly.
so I have a question, Kathy. Your son has never ever ridden a power car for children, right?
I mean, he has, but we can say he hasn't.
Okay, so before he had, do you
Right.
remember how nervous you were when he was going to get in it?
Mm, I'm I'm not really like nervous on that stuff, but I get what you're saying.
Okay, well, I'm still going to use the analogy. So
Yeah.
we're looking at putting the kid in their first little powered vehicle. You know,
Yeah.
they're going to have the full power of pushing that button and you may not be able to catch them.
Yeah.
Here you are in life in the lack of self-confidence and self-belief is the same as when that child's getting in that car for the first time. That kid's going, what do I do? Where am I? What is this? But they're also very excited. I can make it go.
Yeah.
So get it inquisitive, like the child.
Yeah. And that's where I'm at as far as like gathering thoughts, because I'm like, what's the root, because even as you're talking, I'm like, like I'm not a, I'm a pretty confident person by nature, the way I come across or whatever, you wouldn't look at me and think that like like I have self-doubt or, disbelief. But then I'm like, it's just this fear of failure and this fear of rejection, because I think, every time I fail, everyone in my life is like, you failed, and I'm like, and for them, it's like, I told you, like, it's really just been like a week of grief of realizing like how I have no support, you know?
That is hard, not having any support. The nice part is, Kathy, is you're in a group now where all of us came in at the same place, not feeling like we had any support.
Yeah.
And every single one of us in here in Noble Bowman have been the very lifeline of support that each one of us have needed all the way around. So you have found your tribe and you have
Yeah.
found that support system, but learning how to accept it is where you're at.
Yeah.
Accepting the fact that you finally do. And that's why you're comfortable saying, I've never had a support system, is because you're seeing your support around you and finally able to bring that into articulation. And that
Yeah.
is a beautiful thing. So I think you're well on your way to having that belief in yourself again, or for the first time. But the
Yeah.
unknown is scary, but
Yeah.
it's so worth it. It's so worth it. And you are worth it. At the end, we are at the end of the hour. And I don't want to hold anybody. If anybody needs to go, they can. If you're not in a big rush and you do need the fountain work, I will stay on and do the fountain today. If anybody'd like to take that uncertainty, those confusions within ourselves and wash away the lack of self-confidence, the lack of fear, the space of fear, any of those fearful, or those lack of confidence in ourselves to overcome the unknown. If you would like to take those things into the fountain, I welcome you all to stay for a few more minutes, and I will let you get set up in your seat, get comfortable, sit back, close your eyes, and get ready, because we can literally navigate and wash away anything that's no longer serving our highest good. And we are truly built to be full, whole, and complete within ourselves from the foundations of the earth. That's what we were intended for. So whatever's holding you back, whatever making you feel less than, whatever's hurting or causing you to feel like you can't, I want you to go ahead and take those words, those thoughts, those stories, and literally let the fountain wash them free of you today. So go ahead, close your eyes. And I want you to imagine yourself right now before the gates, as they're flashing back and forth, open and closed. I want you to know that you can safely navigate your way into the garden. And as you're entering through, you can see every lush green plant, grass blade, life, bushel, branch, trees. You can see the flowers of all sorts. And in the center of this garden, you can see the fountain. I want you to rush to that fountain, because today is the day that you can go and be made free and clean indeed. So I want you to go ahead and step up mentally into this fountain and step down into the waters. As the waters are rushing around your feet and around your calves and up into the knee area, I want you to go ahead and step forward into the flowing down, light cascading white effect that is coming down from the top of this fountain. And I want you to step into that water flow. When that water flow hits the top of your head, I want you to go ahead and open the crown. Allow this light cleansing waters to come through and into the third eye. I wanted to illuminate this whole space. Any of those storylines that keep you locked in, trapped, feeling less than, feeling lack, feeling fear, feeling discouraged, feeling that you don't know. I want right now you to go ahead and bring that in and circulate it, and bring it into a circle and bring it into the center with this waters just flowing through and gathering up these storylines. Bring that down and into the throat and continue to bring up all of those stories, anything, and circulate it and bring it into this ball so that we can remove it from you, because what is no longer serving you can be washed away. What is not meant for you can be washed clean. You are whole and complete and perfect in every way, because you were made by that from the foundations of the earth. Bring that down into your heart space. And anything that's hardened your heart, hurt you, made you feel less than, and causes you to question your own self-worth, I want you to bring all of that up and circulate that into this ball of light as well. Any hardened spaces in the heart, I want it to break free and be free indeed. Bring that down into the solar plex and anything that's put a gnawing feeling in your stomach, pain or discomfort. Want it to be released and removed, no longer allowed to affect you. Bring that in and then down to the solar plexus, into the root, the sacral first, and then the root, down into the calves, into your thighs and into your calves and into your feet. Allow this waters to just continue from above all the way through. Crown, third eye, throat, heart, solar plex, sacral, root, legs, feet, and down into the ground as far away from you as possible. Go ahead and set that down into the foundations of the earth, down into the core of Mother Gaia. Then just bring back up the light and the waters back into your feet, into your calves, into your thighs, into the root. But this time I want to bring it up through your spine, all the way back up, through the spine, cleansing and restoring anything in your alignment, bringing you straight, upright, and able. Up into the brainstem, bringing the truth that you are truly connected and that all things will flow together perfectly in harmony. And then go ahead and bring that back up through the third eye, into the crown, and release it back into the heavenlies. Because today you're free to be the best you that you're intended to be. When you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. And I think Nikki's going to be able to go to sleep now. She's like, oh yeah.
I think I was almost asleep just a minute ago.
That would have been my first one to fall asleep if you had. That would have been interesting. I've been like, well, we'll just let Nikki stay right here. She can leave the class later. But how do you all feel?
That was awesome, Darla. Thank you.
Thank you. I love the waterfall.
It was
The
good to meet
fountain
you,
is
Kathy.
amazing.
I was telling Kathy it was good to meet her. I don't think we've actually met yet.
Yeah. Thank you for your perspective. I appreciate it.
Yeah, me too. You have a beautiful heart. Bye, guys. Thank you for holding space. Bye.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
Did you
Bye-bye.
need to say anything else, Eric? Or are you good?
I'm good. I'm just, I apologize that I didn't react the way I wanted to react, but when Kathy was talking, but my wife, she just came in and, well, she doesn't respect what I do, and well, she lives down the hill already, you know, now, but she comes in from time to time, and a lot of times at the wrong moment when I'm in a meeting or something, and she's
gonna get her.
always